Good morning students, welcome to Narayana live session classes. Today we are going to discuss the assignment of 10th class under the topic current electricity. Let us go to the first question. A wire of resistance R is cut into 4 equal parts and they are bundled together side by side to form a thick wire. Right? The resistance of the bundle is, right? Now here I take a wire who is having resistance R. Right? Now this is cut into 4 equal parts. 4 equal parts, right? Now the resistance of each part will be R by 4. Why? Because it is cut into equal parts. So R by 4, R by 4, R by 4. Okay, so let us say this is R1, R2, R3 and R4. Now total resistance is R, right? So here we have 4 pieces that are aligned like this one by one to form a wire bundle, right? So R1, R2, R3 and R4. Okay, right? So as you see, it is a parallel connection and all the 4 resistors are having equal resistance, right? So for that sake, if we go to the solution of it, right? So all the 4 resistors, that is are connected in parallel, right? So for equal resistance of resistors connected in parallel, right? We have direct formula, that is R parallel is equals to R by N square, where N is the number of resistors. So here we are having 4 resistors and the total value of the resistance is R. So R by 4 square, which is R by 16. Okay, so the value will be R by 16. The resistance of the bundle will be R by 16. Right? Let us get into the second question. A wire of resistance 18 ohms is bent to form a equilateral triangle. The resistance across any 2 vertices of the triangle is, right? Okay. Now a wire is taken which is having resistance is equals to 18 ohms and it is bent to form a equilateral triangle. So let us form an equilateral triangle. Okay. So let us say this is R1 side, this is R2 side and this is R3 side. Right. As they say it is formed an equilateral triangle, so R1 should be equal to R2 should be equal to R3, because in an equilateral triangle all the sides are equal. Right. Let us say this is terminal A and this is terminal B. So these 2 vertices we need to find. Okay. Now this will be, again the circuit will be redesigned as, this will be R1 plus R2 and this will be R3. Okay. As R1 and R2 are in series, so R12 is equals to R1 plus R2, which is equals to 6 ohms. That is 6 plus 6 is equals to 12 ohms, right? And R12 is parallel to R3. So total resistance of the circuit is R12 into R3 by R12 plus R3. That is 12 and R3 is 6 into 6 by 12 plus 6, which is equals to 12 into 6 by 18. 6 ones are 6 3s are 3 ones are 3 4s are, so 4 ohms. So the final total resistance of the circuit or the any 2 vertices between a triangle is 4 ohms. Okay, 4 ohms, right? Now let us get into the third question. The third question, 4 conductors of resistance 16 ohms each, right? So there are 4 conductors of resistance 16 ohms each, right? Let us say this is R1, are connected to form a square. Let us say this is R2, R3 and R4. So to form a square, right? Now each is of 16 ohms. Any two adjacent corners, we need to find the equivalent resistance. Let us say this is A terminal and this is B terminal. So we need to find resistance between A and B. Right? Now this circuit can be equivalent to R1, R2, R3 will be in series. R1, R2, R3, and these are parallel to R4, right? A, B. Okay, so let us find the equivalent resistance of the circuit, right? So here R1, R2, R3 are in series, so R1, 2, 3 will be equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. This is 16 plus 16 plus 16, which is equals to 48 ohms. Okay, right? And R1, 2, 3 is parallel to R4. So total resistance of the circuit will be R1, 2, 3 into R4 by R1, 2, 3 plus R4. Now 48 into 16 by 48 plus 16, right? Which is equals to 48 into 16 by 64, right? 16 ones are 16 fours are 4 ones are 4 12s are. So the final resistance equivalent resistance of this circuit will be 12 ohms. Okay, now let us get into the fourth question. A piece of wire of resistance 4 ohms, right, is bent through 180 degrees at its midpoint and the two halves are twisted together. Now let us say there is a wire which is having a resistance of 4 ohms, right? Exactly at the midpoint it is bent and it is formed as a thick wire, right? So now each will have R by 2, but you can see this is similar to the first one, right? So that is these two resistors R1 and R2 are connected in parallel and they both are equal, right? So the equivalent resistance of the parallel for the equal resistors is R by N square, right? R is 4 ohms, fine, total resistance, and N is number of resistors, it is divided 2, so 2 square is 4 by 4, which is equals to 1, right? So the final resistance of the wire of 4 ohms is bent into 2 halves is 1 ohms, right? So this is the assignment for this day, students. We'll meet in the next lesson. Thank you.